Rachel, how we doing tonight? What did you think about that main event? What do you think about that main event? I thought it was a great match. I thought it was a fantastic match. Um, Fourth time in one day. Can you believe it, Rachel? My goodness. Crazy. Crazy. Fourth live, 2 on YouTube today and 2 on TikTok. Thank you. You were the only one who's joined me, I believe, on all 4. I don't know if Miss J made all 3 prior, but hey, look, thank you for being here. Wait a few minutes and we'll get started, but we'll talk about it. Great main event. Unfortunate that they lost, but we kind of knew Naomi and Bianca were going to lose. No signs of Jade Cargill just yet. Could be Friday on SmackDown because Naomi and Bianca are on SmackDown as well as Jade, and I believe so, right? And they'll both be in the Chamber Saturday, so I wonder if we'll see Jade show up at the Chamber in any regard, costing either Naomi or Bianca an opportunity at that #1 spot for Rhea's title. So we'll see, but I'm really curious. I'm really curious. I got to say, yeah, I think a lot of us were. I didn't look at the internet's reaction after the show. I put up a couple polls during the match, but most people thought, just like most people thought Bianca and Naomi would lose tonight, most people thought Jade was going to show up, and she didn't. So I thought maybe just the mere presence. I thought maybe just the mere presence of Jade's theme song hitting, like a storm has arrived type of deal, and would have been more than enough. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen, but I guess not. So welcome to the review, guys. We are going to talk a little bit of Monday Night Raw in just a little bit. I don't know, Rachel, kind of feels that way. But I'm really curious what's going to happen with Cody as well. Cody and Seth had a great promo right before the main event too. Guys, welcome to the Monday Night Raw review. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And we'd love to hear from you in the chat. Be sure to hit that thumbs up. And we're going to get right to it. We're not going to waste any time. We got a lot to talk about. Messi or Ronaldo? Well, this is a pro wrestling stream, my friend. But I will answer you that. I'm more of a Messi guy. But I do like Ronaldo. Midwest Championship Wrestling. What's up, Oscar? How we doing? Guys, be sure to hit that subscribe button, all right? Hit that subscribe. Hit that thumbs up. Those two won't cost you a thing. Just a little bit of time. Favorite WWE wrestler of all time? Stone Cold Steve Austin, my friend. Been watching since the late 80s. Guys, we're going to talk about tonight, though. We're going to talk about Monday Night Raw. A lot to discuss. We're going to break into it in a couple minutes, probably around 11 o'clock, 3-4 minutes once we get some more people in here. Again, guys, hit that thumbs up, hit that like button, hit that subscribe. And again, Mondays and Fridays, I am here immediately following Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown for a full review. Cloudy Bunny, what's up? El Cruce and Bunny, make sure you guys hit that subscribe and that thumbs up in here, all right? I don't mind answering questions. Just do me that favor. Favorite WWE wrestler, though? What's up, Arthur? How we doing, brother? Again, Arthur, be sure to hit that subscribe button as well. But yeah, favorite wrestler all time? I have plenty, but Stone Cold Steve Austin for sure. Is WWE scripted? Absolutely. Of course it is. Of course it is, but it's great television. Great television. Pro wrestling's enjoyable, near or far. So again, for those that watch WWE to this day, we're going to talk Monday Night Raw review in a little bit. Overall, solid show. Again, it went a little past 10:30, went close to 10:45 tonight. Main event didn't start till about 10:20 or so I figured that much. But it was an enjoyable show. So again, guys, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Get those likes up here. I see we got a good amount of numbers in here, some people. So let's get those thumbs up, all right? Don't just sit around and lurk, all right? Be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Hit that subscribe, all right? It doesn't cost you anything. Do I watch cricket? I do not. Just got a lot of sports I watch on a daily basis, but got nothing against cricket, though. It's good stuff. So, all right, guys, we're going to talk a little bit about Monday Night Raw that took place tonight in Cincinnati, Ohio. By the way, not only are we on the road to WrestleMania, Elimination Chamber is this Saturday in Toronto, Canada, but as you probably saw the graphic during the show, we are just 54 days away. All right, we are 54 days away from WrestleMania in sunny Las Vegas. Well, for those attending, hopefully it will be a sunny day. Thank you for the subscribes, guys. I see we already got 3 in just a couple minutes. Keep hitting that subscribe button, guys. Keep subscribing. Keep hitting that like button. Appreciate you guys. Where am I from? I am from the New York, New Jersey area, my friend. Born and raised. Have I played? What was that? All the things. I don't know what that acronym is, my friend. Um, but yeah, Monday Night Raw was good. All right, Monday Night Raw was good for all those wrestling fans out there. So we're gonna get started. This opened up with Logan Paul. Logan Paul opened up the show. Now he's not from Cincinnati, Ohio. He's from Cleveland, Ohio. Although he does no longer reside there. I believe he lives in Puerto Rico these days. So Logan Paul opened up the show. Remember, this is his second consecutive year in that Elimination Chamber match this Saturday, and he wouldn't get to say too much. He was throwing a whole lot of shade at the city of Cincinnati as he flew in there today, telling the pilot to turn around. He didn't want to stay there. It was dreary and all that. Taking shots at all the hometown people. And even though he's from nearby Cleveland, he's not from Cincinnati, so he had no love for them. Five Nights at Freddy. What about that, brother? What about Roman Reigns? Yeah, Roman Reigns is great. He's been off TV for about a month. I do not play Fortnite. Let's see. I have not. I have not, my friend. Do you know the Great Khali by any chance? No, I don't. I don't know him. Familiar with him on TV. That's about as much as it is. So Logan Paul opens up this show, guys. All right. Talks a little bit. He was immediately cut off by CM Punk. CM Punk's music hit. He made his way out. Um, Logan Paul had a whole lot to say about CM Punk, but CM Punk came right at him. Like CM Punk or not, guys, we know he's one of the best on the microphone. That cannot be disputed, all right? Punk calls Logan a dime a dozen, no character, no substance to him. And so basically told him about himself and say you just go basically based off of trying to get reactions from the fans and all that, which there's a lot of truth to that. There's a lot of truth to what CM Punk said. Logan then says Punk cracked under pressure, quite literally last year at the Royal Rumble with that tricep tear. And Punk simply says he will eliminate Logan Paul Saturday, much like Logan Paul dumped him out of the ring at the Royal Rumble just last month. And Punk also says he will win, face Cody at Mania, and leave Vegas as the WWE champion. Paul slapped Punk. He slapped Punk pretty hard in the face, where then Logan Paul fled the ring. If you saw, Punk was looking back. It looked like his tongue or mouth was bleeding a little bit. He got a little bloodied up there because when you looked at the replay, Logan Paul got Punk pretty good. Almost got him in the eye, too. So he got him on the whole side of the face there with a quick slap, but he was out. Cat-like reflexes. He was up the aisleway. Then CM Punk says to Logan Paul, as he was scurrying his way up the aisleway, Punk says, look, run while your legs still work. So I'm looking forward to seeing these two, especially mix it up in the Elimination Chamber. We know it's going to be a good match come Saturday, so I'm excited for it. Let's see. Wrestler, yes, he is. Guys, be sure to hit that thumbs up. All right, hit that like button. We are talking Monday Night Raw. I am all for answering comments, questions, concerns, but let's keep it to Monday Night Raw, okay? If you haven't watched in a while, then just stay tuned and feel free to listen. Again, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, guys, hit that like button. Appreciate you being here with me on this Monday night. So we're going to go to the first match of the night, all right? We got Ludwig Kaiser of Imperium versus Pete Dunne versus Penta. Triple threat match, great match. And I had said this to a few people prior to the start of this match. I said, there's no way Penta's going to win again. It's time for somebody else to win. Penta's been on a real hot streak throughout the first, 5-6 weeks of the new year. I said Penta's not going to win, but Penta's also not going to eat the pin. And that's exactly what happened. This match was great chemistry. Got a "This is awesome" chant. It's a good way to start off the show. It's like they knew what they were doing starting off the show with this match. Kaiser tossed Penta out of the ring towards the end, just when Penta was going to hit Pete Dunne with the Mexican Destroyer. And Kaiser hit his finish on Pete Dunne for the 1-2-3. So just as I predicted, Penta didn't get the win, but he also didn't have to eat the pin, right? Penta was tossed to the outside by Ludwig Kaiser. Kaiser got the win after hitting his finish on Pete Dunne for the 1-2-3, and that's that. So I don't know how much more Pete Dunne will be involved with Kaiser or involved with Penta, but the matchup or feud with Penta and Kaiser is definitely far from finished. Main event was good, Javi. Main event was good. I thought it was fantastic. That is the second time in the last 3 weeks that Raquel and Liv, and it takes two to tango, you know what I mean? But this is the second time in 2 weeks or 3 weeks rather, that we saw a great tag team match. If you look 2 or 3 weeks ago, Damage Control's Dakota and Io had a great match against Raquel and Liv. And then, much like tonight, Bianca and Naomi versus Raquel and Liv was a lot of fun, too. A lot of fast-paced, hard-hitting action. You're getting "This is awesome" chants and you know what. So we'll talk about the main event once we get to that. But absolutely, bro. You're absolutely right about that. Do I play video games? No, I do not. Penta should go for the U.S. title, or is it still pretty early? Yeah, I mean, he could. Being that the U.S. title's over on SmackDown, I don't know if he's going to go for Braun Breaker's title, IC title. Raw, but I'm curious. I am curious. Guys, when you make your way in here, all I ask is if you're already subscribed, Yeah, if you're not, hit the subscribe button and just please hit that thumbs up, hit that like button. Appreciate it, guys. I'm very curious though. I'm excited. So that was the opening segment with Punk and Paul that I talked about. Then when we talked a little bit about the first matchup we had of the night and that triple threat opportunity. This would then lead us to the first tag team match of the night. Okay, the New Day versus the LWO, and for once it wasn't Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee. Which look, I love seeing them. Don't get me wrong, but this was a really big opportunity for Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro, right? They never really get much TV time, and they're a good tag team. You know, they were showcased a lot in NXT. They used to get some time on SmackDown, and now here on Raw, they haven't gotten a whole lot of opportunities the past year or so. So here we had Joaquin Wilde, Cruz del Toro. This was fun. This was fun, but it would end with the New Day winning, as most of us probably would have assumed it would be. Xavier Woods pins del Toro for the victory, and that was pretty much that. Now, post-match, there was an attack. New Day was still getting on them. Dragon Lee came to the rescue for a little bit. New Day powerbombed Dragon Lee altogether. And so that was pretty much how that segment would end. Next, I'm going to talk about the Judgment Day in a minute, guys. Appreciate you being here with me on this Monday night. Appreciate the new subscribers. Got 4 new subscribers already during this live. And thank you for the thumbs up in the chat, guys. Just do me that favor. Hit the thumbs up. Appreciate you. So, Dragon Lee kind of died down. Yeah, a little bit, to say the least. I mean, let's be honest. The LWO is talented as hell, but without Rey Mysterio, I mean, what do they really got going on? You know what I mean? So, hey, we're going to move forward here, all right? We're going to move forward here to the Judgment Day segment. This is where Finn tells Dom there will be no talk regarding a new member of the Judgment Day. Then we would see Liv say, we will win tag team gold later tonight, which, look, that was accurate. She was absolutely right. Liv tells Finn, you know, they were not involved in the Jade Cargill attack, which Finn initially accused them of. And even though we didn't see Jade tonight, I do believe that Liv and Raquel were not the ones. And I think it was either Naomi or Bianca, which a lot of us have been saying for 3 months. Yeah, it could be Lash Legend or somebody, but I do think it was Naomi. But perhaps Friday or Saturday, we will see Jade Cargill either the night before Elimination Chamber or at Elimination Chamber. And it makes a world of sense because Naomi and Bianca will both be in that chamber match. So maybe she ends up costing one, if not both of them, that match. So I'm curious to see what happens. Appreciate the new subscribers. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, guys, as well as that thumbs up when you make your way into the chat here onto this live. Be sure to hit that thumbs up. Thank you. So after that, there was actually a brief backstage segment. There was a commercial break. And we saw a little tease with Logan Paul and AJ Styles talking smack to one another. It was more so Logan Paul demeaning AJ Styles. And this has been rumored for a couple weeks now. You know, if AJ Styles is not going up against Braun Breaker in a hunt for that Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania, that potentially we could see Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. You know what? I'm not totally against that. Would I love to see Styles in title contention for the IC title? Of course I would. I think that's the one title he has not won in WWE. Could be wrong. But look, if he's not in that IC title opportunity against Braun Breaker at Mania, Logan Paul, AJ Styles, that would be fun. That would be a good one. So I'm here for it. No new members to the Judgment Day. How long can that go for? Maybe Monday after Mania? Possibly, Javi. I'm hoping, you know, I hope Alistair, if that's who it is, presumably is, you know, integrated in this before that. Because that's still a while away. Again, 53, 54 days away. That's a long time from now. Especially because they keep mentioning it on TV. It's one thing if it's not like a common theme, not a common thread on TV, but the fact they're mentioning it on a weekly basis is kind of crazy. Braun versus AJ, take my money. I hear you, bro. I would definitely prefer that. But I'll tell you what, a good consolation prize between Logan Paul and AJ, possibly at Mania 2, if it's not AJ in the IC title hunt, would be good as well. So we're going to go to Gunther, the World Heavyweight Champion, going up against Akira Tozawa. Now, Gunther started telling Tozawa some things in the beginning. He says, look, Tozawa, you're coming in here. You're doing your little TikTok dances with Alpha Academy, Otis, and Maxine Dupree. You're wasting your talents, becoming a goof, making the wrong choices. Says he wants Tozawa to earn his respect. Tozawa started off hot out the gate, had some offense on Gunther, looked good for a while. And it wasn't just that initial offense. Throughout the match, there's a lot of bright spots for Tozawa. We knew he wasn't going to win. I don't think any of us could remember the last time Tozawa actually won a match in singles, at least. Maybe a tag match here and there with Otis. But again, Tozawa had some fight in him. Gunther ends up putting Tozawa to sleep. Post-match attack, Otis ended up breaking things up, getting Gunther off of him. Gunther snuck up on Otis, was about to put Otis to sleep. Main event, Jey Uso, the #1 contender for Gunther's title, makes his way out. and saves the day, makes the save. So that was great to see. Good to see Jey Uso out there. We'd see him backstage a little bit later in the show with A-Town Down Under, which was fun towards the end of the show as well. We then would have a Women's Intercontinental Championship match. This is a rematch from a couple of weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago, for this inaugural title. Dakota Kai would get an opportunity yet again against Lyra Valkyria. Decent match. Again, as most of us knew, Valkyria would win, and she did. She retains her title, going 3-0 against Dakota Kai lifetime. As Michael Cole mentioned on commentary, Lyra Valkyria defeated Dakota Kai in the first round of the Queen of the Ring tournament last spring, and then, of course, beat her in the inaugural championship match a couple weeks ago, and then beat her yet again tonight. So I think third time's not a charm for Dakota Kai. She will no longer be in the mid-card scene, at least for that title, for the IC title on Raw. And so you probably see her in much more of a tag team capacity. But it all depends. I mean, I don't see Io winning the title off Rhea next Monday, as good as that match will be on Raw, and I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see what's in store for her soon. But post-match attack, Dakota Kai was about to walk backstage, about to go to Gorilla when she was attacked by Ivy Nile of American Made. Then made her way to the ring. Lyra Valkyria didn't see her. Ivy Nile took out Lyra Valkyria with a release German suplex. And inevitably so, Ivy Nile, not only is she going to be Lyra's next opponent, but that could be the one to dethrone her. I don't necessarily think that's the case, but that was the one who lost. Ivy lost to Dakota last week, so she didn't get the number one contender, but she will be meeting up with Lyra sooner than later. You better believe it. So thoughts on the mid-card belt? You think they're doing a good job? Javi, for the women's mid-card, I assume you're talking about? Not so much. I'm not overly impressed. The champions are cool, Lyra, Chelsea, but they're not doing a whole lot. It's almost like they're afraid to explore and expand outside of Dakota, outside of Mishin and Chelsea, the opponents they've been fighting for 2 or 3 months. Enough is enough. Let's move forward, whether they're going to remain champions or not. Let's get some. And like I said a few weeks ago, it's not so much. I do want a storyline for the champions, right? But let me get some good mid-card matches for the women that don't necessarily have title implications. Like, let's see at random, Caden Carter versus, I don't know, Ivy Nile, Caden Carter, and SmackDown. The list goes on for mid-card opportunities as well. Selena Vega versus God knows who. Let's get some matches. Let's see who could work up 2, 3, 4 wins in a row. And not just a simple, whoever wins this match next week's number one contender. That's so lazy. That's lazy to me. So if you could book somebody consistently strong in the women's mid-card so that they have to eventually get a title opportunity, I would like something like that. But again, I'm not impressed with how they're booking the mid-card, title or non-title, either way for the women. Chelsea's great, Valkyria not so good, can't get behind her. Well, here's the one thing Chelsea got going for her. Lyra to me is a slightly better wrestler, to say the least. But let's be honest, Chelsea Green has all of the personality, and it is sports entertainment. You need to have some level of personality, face or heel. So that's what, at minimum, that's what keeps Chelsea interesting and thriving along Piper Niven. So Chelsea's got all the personality in the world. I wish some of that would rub off on Lyra Valkyria. Lyra Valkyria doesn't need to be comedic like her, but she needs to show me something. She's got an amazing theme song. She's got a nice presence, always has nice ring gear. Pretty good wrestler, to say the least, but I get it. I could see why a lot of people may be bored with Lyra Valkyria, even prior to becoming champion, just her whole main roster run the last 9-10 months. I get it. Look, I get it. So we'll see what happens with that, but that was the women's mid-card IC title match. Again, Ivy Nile took both of them out post-match, Dakota and Lyra Valkyria. The Woo thing. Yeah, I hear you. It's a bit much. Gianna says, you think Lyra needs to be heel? Due time. Good seeing you. Guys, when you make your way in the chat, be sure to hit that thumbs up, all right? Hit that like button. Everyone counts. And again, if you have not already, please hit that subscribe button. Appreciate you being here with me on this Monday Night Raw review. So let's talk a little bit about Sami Zayn with Jackie Redmond. I love this segment. I love how overly emotional Sami Zayn was. And it makes sense for him to be visibly emotional, right? Him and Kevin Owens go way back, right? Kevin Steen, El Generico, call it what you want, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, Ring of Honor. They've been fighting quite literally. When you say fight forever, these two have been fighting for well over 2 decades. Best friends or bitter enemies, right? So, Sami talks about, look, KO came to my house Friday. Over the weekend, I went to KO's house. He goes, unfortunately, nobody was home. He's like, I ran into Kevin Owens' mom over the weekend, spoke to her. That went well. He says he was then ashamed of himself for going to Kevin Owens' house over the weekend. He says that he doesn't recognize himself or who KO is anymore. And he says, quite frankly, I'm not sure what either one of us are capable of come this Saturday in Toronto at Elimination Chamber. He says, and I understand why Adam Pearce said this is an unsanctioned match, and I could see every reason as to why they have not sanctioned this match, because Lord knows what we're going to do to one another. So he says to KO, it's going to be a very bad time for you. I hope that you were ready this Saturday. I'm excited for it. I really am. Let's see. Kevin's going to Sammy's house was creepy and good for a storyline. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And you know, the funny thing about Kevin Owens is, regardless how serious he is and he dangerous he could seem, he always has this underlying aspect of comedy. That being Kevin Owens. So I like that. I like that. Such a great heel. Absolutely, you nailed it, Javi. You nailed it. So thank you guys for being here with me on this Monday night, rather. Whether it's big audience or a smaller audience like tonight, that's fine. I appreciate you spending time. You know, at least you're going to get a solid and honest review from me, right? So that's all that matters. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, guys. Again, make your way into the chat as well. Love to answer your questions, concerns, and hit that thumbs up and subscribe when you make your way here. Thank you. So now we're almost approaching like 9:40, 9:45, I guess, on the East Coast here at this moment in time. Dominic Mysterio making his way out with Finn Balor and Carlito, going up against the Intercontinental Champion, Braun Breaker. Taking it back, if you go father versus father, this is like the son of Rey Mysterio going up against the son of Rick Steiner. Thought that was kind of cool. You know, being that I grew up watching those kinds of guys. Anyway, towards the end of this match, it looked like Braun Breaker was going to put, well, he was going to put Dominic Mysterio away with a vicious spear. I think Braun Breaker has the best spear in all of pro wrestling in 2025. That's just me. And Finn and Carlito pull Breaker out of the ring. They run him into the ring steps, again, right before he was about to hit down with that vicious spear. But Breaker ends up, the match was called. The referee called the match, obviously. Breaker ends up spearing Carlito in the center of the ring. And then Finn narrowly escaped. He was basically face-to-face with Braun on the mat, made his way out. He was lucky. I thought Finn was going to be screwed as well. So that was cool. Next up, we would have the War Raiders backstage during Ivy Nile and the Creed brothers cutting a promo. This was after Ivy had beat up both Dakota and Lyra. The War Raiders would then attack the Creed brothers. They would come up on them, beat the living hell out of them. And now, not only do we have Rhea Ripley defending her title next Monday against Io Sky, we also have the War Raiders defending their World Tag Team titles against the Creed brothers next week. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Let's get to the comments section here. Through all these years, KO and Sammy have had many feuds. Every time they keep us saying, yeah, I agree. It's funny about KO and Sammy. Regardless, who's the baby face, who's the heel, what the angle is, what it pertains. They always are able to bring in this real life emotion, right? And they always deliver in their matches, whether they're side by side in a tag team bout of night one of WrestleMania, dethroning the Usos for the Undisputed Tag Team Championships, or if they're at each other's throats, like they were prior to WWE, as I said, in NXT, main roster, you name it. It's been a lot of fun. It really has. It's been a lot of fun. You think Finn Balor versus Aleister Black at Mania? All right. Hey, look, if that's what we're going to get, I would not be opposed to that at all. You know that. I'm a big fan of both. I'm a big fan of both those guys. So we're going to move on now. We're going to move on to the 10 p.m. hour. We are starting hour 3 of Monday Night Raw. At this moment in time, we're not sure if it's going to go till 10:30 like it has been, or tonight it ended up going to 10:45 because the main event didn't really start till about 10:20 or so. Because right around 10 o'clock, Cody came out for a promo. So I figured like things are probably going to run a little later tonight, which they did, and that's fine. It still ended before 11, so that's fine by me. We didn't hit that 3-hour mark. That's always a good thing. That's always a good thing. Again, guys, if you're making your way in here, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, hit the like when you make your way in here. And thank you for joining me tonight for this Monday Night Raw review, February 24th edition in Cincinnati, Ohio. So Cody Rhodes comes out. We know he's obviously got to discuss what Rock proposed to him Friday on SmackDown about joining him, basically becoming corporate. Rock saying he wants Cody's soul, not necessarily just the title. So it's coming for it all, right? Cody says, look, you know, he mentions all of his family by name, basically starts mentioning close friends at the start, discussing this proposition by The Rock and what he's really got to mull it over. And it basically goes against everything he's ever believed in or presented himself as, right? He's coming down there shaking hands. He's taking selfies with kids. I mean, come on. This was then interrupted by Seth Rollins, which I really enjoyed. And I wasn't quite sure how we were going to, like what version of Seth we were going to get. But we actually got a very analytical, precise, and quite understood Seth Rollins. At the end of this, everything Seth Rollins said was legitimate. It's not like he was just going based off sheer emotion. So I loved it. I'm going to try to, knock out some bullet points of what Seth said. Seth said, first of all, this is the first time we're in the ring together since WrestleMania 40, since April 7th, when you won that title 300 plus days ago, where I went on to help you win that title, which is very legit. An injured, hobbled Seth Rollins helped him come out when that Shield music hit, all that. Rollins said, I would love for this to be a feel good moment. However, Rollins asked Cody, what the hell are you thinking? Even considering The Rock's proposition, right? You want to become The Rock's champion, he says. He says, look, do not make me regret all that I sacrificed to help you become WWE champion. Everything that led up to it, even night one when they were fighting for that tribal combat. Unfortunately, Rock pinned Cody night one, right? So it was a Bloodline Rules match for night two, but it still worked out for Cody, right? Because he had a lot of people come to his aid too, whether it was Jey Uso, John Cena, right? Seth Rollins, The Undertaker. They all helped him get to the top of the mountain that night, and then they raised him up on shoulders. So that was a beautiful thing. When he was picked up by Sami Zayn and Randy Orton with all the superstars in the ring cheering him on. It was awesome for me to be in attendance for that. What a moment. So anyway, he goes on to say stuff like that. Cody said, look, Seth, I get what you're saying, but you sound very judgmental. Starts talking about all the things Seth's done in the past, all his checkered past, and joining the Authority and turning on the Shield, striking Roman with the chair and all that stuff over time. And says, he knows who Seth is, both for better and for worse, right? He started naming some good stuff too, obviously helping him at Mania. He even called Seth the MVP of WrestleMania 40, for all that he did, night one and night two. Seth says, look, maybe I'm just protecting you, Cody, from the mistakes that he himself made over time. He says, look, Cody, don't make me hate you. Don't make me hate you, Cody Rhodes, were his exact words. And he says, I want to feel the Cody Rhodes that returned at WrestleMania 38 3 years ago, the one who beat me with one arm at Hell in a Cell with that torn pectoral muscle, the one who I helped crown at WrestleMania 40 even just last April in Philadelphia. And he says, look, I'm not coming for your soul, but I am coming for your title when I go on and win the Elimination Chamber Saturday. Very strong promo by both Cody and Seth. I love the interaction. I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments. I thought this was great. This was one of the highlights of the night. Honestly, anything from 10 p.m. on was perfect. The main event was great too, which I'm going to get to in a minute with the women's tag team match. Didn't want to see Bianca and Naomi drop their titles tonight, but kind of knew it was going to happen so they could focus on a singles opportunity Saturday for Elimination Chamber, right? But we'll see. We didn't see Jade tonight. Maybe she interrupts that on Saturday. So let me get to a few comments here. Santos, what's up, my brother? How we doing? That slap from Logan the Punk. Yeah, I was talking about that right before you got in here, Javi, at the top. That was some slap. I think Punk's mouth was bloody by it. Santos says Seth Rollins does have a tendency to turn on those he teams with. Yep, that's for sure. That's for sure. This was a beautiful, beautiful segment by Cody and Seth, though, at the 10 o'clock hour, though. This is great. And then this would lead us to the main event of the night, right? It was, I think the bell rang around 10:20 or so. So this match was very enjoyable. But before that, I got to mention the backstage segment we got between Jey Uso checking on the Alpha Academy's Akira Tozawa, Otis, Maxine, and stuff after that attack they got earlier from Gunther. We see Jey Uso leaving the trainer's room. He was then approached by A-Town Down Unders, Austin Theory, Grayson Waller, more showing the dissension between Waller remaining a heel, Austin Theory with the slow burn baby face, which has been going on for months now, but it's really becoming obvious. So they were going back and forth. And long story short, Jey Uso talked about, beating Gunther at the main event of WrestleMania, becoming World Heavyweight Champion. And just when he was about to do the yeet, Austin Theory was about to do the whole yeet thing with Jey Uso. And what tells you more than anything that somebody's going to go babyface when a guy like Theory is co-signing the yeet, one of the most over guys in WWE, if not the most over guy, right? So that was cool. Then out of nowhere, you see Jey Uso hit Waller with a super kick, and Theory looking at Uso in awe. But Theory didn't go after Uso, right? Theory more or less just, kind of checked on Waller just because they've been a tag team for the better part of a year, but didn't really care about it because they're going to split soon. It's been teased week after week, whether it's on SmackDown, Raw, NXT Vengeance Day, when those two were in a match, when it looked like Theory was going to pin Obafemi a week and a half ago, and then Waller pulled Theory out of the ring, if you saw that. So, there's no love lost there. So this was good. This was good, and it's just, further proof that Theory's well on his way to becoming babyface. And this is something he needs. I think we all could agree to that. So we're going to talk about the main event in a minute, guys. Let's see here. What's up, Adrian? All right, my friend. Appreciate you stopping in here in the chat. Guys, when you make your way in here, all I would ask is you please hit that thumbs up, hit that like button, and of course, be sure to subscribe to Turnbuckle Topics on here on YouTube. Appreciate you guys. Seth was the MVP. Yeah, for sure. It's good stuff. Santos says Austin and Ricky Saints would be a great team. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they would. I'm sure they would. Looking forward to his debut tomorrow night, formerly known as Ricky Starks, going up against Wes Lee on NXT. Should be a good show. Should be a very good show. I'm excited for it. And don't forget, we also got the Hardys showing up on TNA tomorrow night. Hardys having their first match within the realm of WWE for the first time in 4 or 5 years together as a tag team. So that'll be calling NXT against the No Quarter Catch crew. And a lot more stuff to look forward to tonight. So I may hop on for a review tomorrow night. We shall see. I usually only review Raw and SmackDown these days. But whether it's on here or TikTok Live, I would love to discuss that show because I'm sure it's going to be great. Again, with Starks or Ricky Saints' debut, right? Now known as Ricky Saints, and then seeing the Hardys return is enough reason to check in and talk about that, right? And talk about that. So let's talk about this match. We're going to jump into mid-match here. We got Bianca Belair, Naomi. I love the ring gear, by the way. You know, if you're going to go out in a blaze of glory, at least look good while doing it. And that they did. And women's tag team wrestling in the month of February has looked very good in WWE. I got to say, 3 weeks ago, it wasn't last week, the week before that, Liv Morgan and Raquel had a great match with Damage Control's Dakota Kai and Io Sky. And tonight was no different. Tonight was fantastic sequences as well between both teams. Now, mid-match, a lot of interruptions. Of course, we assume there would be, especially if the heels, the Judgment Day, were going to win here. Mid-match, Dirty Dom runs interference, hops on the apron, distracts the referee. Raquel Rodriguez then would cheat. This would nearly lead to Liv pinning Naomi after an Oblivion. Somehow kicks out. We got a huge "This is awesome" ovation chant going on, which was well-deserved. We then would see a KOD by Bianca Belair, of course, to Liv Morgan. Raquel would then interfere again. Raquel, she was good at one thing tonight for sure, and that was interfering just when it looked like Naomi and Bianca were going to put this match away. Dom Mysterio, again, continues to interfere, putting Liv's boot on the bottom rope. We knew that was going to happen. Liv was way too close to the outside. What a great match. Yeah, we knew it was going to come to an end sooner than later. And unfortunately, well, for those that were cheering for Naomi and Bianca like myself, we knew they were not going to retain. They just didn't come out their usual spunky, happy-go-lucky selves. They looked sad. They looked like they were mourning. You know, when they announced the tag title match in the beginning and they're hoisting their titles up one last time, it just looked like the end, unfortunately. So it is what it is. They'll be going after singles gold opportunity at Elimination Chamber this Saturday, trying to be the #1 contender for Rhea Ripley's title at Mania. And the way this would wrap up is Raquel would then take Naomi out. Naomi was about to hit her finish on Liv. Raquel would knock Naomi's head into the top of the ring post, leading to Liv getting the pin and the win and new tag team champions. I believe they're 2 or 3-time tag champions because they've won these titles a few years ago. I believe in 2023, Raquel and Liv, when they were running Babyface, I believe, for a little bit. So new tag team champions. We'll see how this leads or what this leads to. Personally, I've been saying this throughout the course of the weekend, especially today when I was going live, even on here, TikTok earlier today. I would not be opposed to seeing if they are going to bring the women's tag team titles to Mania, maybe a 2, 3, 4-team match as they usually do. Usually it's not just a 2-on-2 match, but at minimum, I would like to eventually see the Alexa Bliss, who joins the Wyatt Six any day now. I would like to see former tag team champions in Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss, who will both be with the Wyatt Six at that point, have them go up against Liv and Raquel, and hopefully eventually, if not there at Mania, shortly thereafter, dethrone them for those tag titles. And then that would be, I think, because I think, again, Liv and Raquel, I think, are 3-time tag champs. And then that would mean, I think, Alexa and Nikki would then become 3-time tag champs. So look, 2 teams with much tag team history and tag team gold. Why not? So I think they're the first 3-time tag team champions ever tonight. There's been quite a few who have had 2 title reigns. Again, Nikki and Alexa, Raquel and Liv did prior to tonight, Kabuki Warriors, Sasha and Bailey. So there's been plenty. There's might even be a couple others. Shayna is a 3-time tag team champion, but she won the first 2 with Nia Jax and the third one with Ronda. So she's won it 3 times, but hasn't won it with the same partner 3 times, like Liv and Raquel. So that was pretty neat. Let's see here. Got a couple comments. NXT seems to be on a whole other level than the main roster. Yeah, Santos, Raw has been phenomenal. But I got to say, NXT has been much more enjoyable and flowing much, much better than SmackDown consistently. So Raw and NXT, they're both great consistently. I'll take either one, but SmackDown has been lacking. And what's really been hurting SmackDown this year, again, I say it every Friday night, or every time I have the opportunity to do so, is Friday Night SmackDown has no business being 3 hours in the new year. It's a show that has been 2 hours for years, and should have remained 2 hours. It's just nonsensical stuff that they add. I'm all for people getting more opportunities, don't get me wrong. But you could just tell when there's filler stuff, whether it's segments, promos, matches, extended segments that could be done in 4 minutes and it goes 9 or 10. There's no need for it. No need for it at all. So let's see what we got here in the comments. Adrian says Alexa and Nikki at Mania would be fire. Absolutely. This version of returning Alexa Bliss with this version of a Nikki, this would be phenomenal. And it would be good for Nikki to give her some momentum. Good way to introduce Alexa back with some gold, tag gold opposed to singles gold initially. I think Alexa, not calling her a strict mid-carder, obviously, but there's just so much competition for the main titles on Raw, on SmackDown, that, I'm not opposed to Alexa eventually becoming a mid-card champion as well. It takes nothing away from them. Doesn't mean you're a lifetime mid-carder just by winning a mid-card title, but I think that would be a good way for Alexa maybe sometime later this year as well to get some singles gold finally too. You know what I mean? Great time to be a wrestling fan. That's right, Santos, for sure. Guys, if you haven't already, going to wrap up the review in a little bit at the conclusion of this main event. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button as well as subscribe to Turnbuckle Topics. Appreciate you joining me here for this last 40 minutes or so on this Monday night. Going over Monday Night Raw. All right, so again, Raquel takes out Naomi, leading to Liv getting the pin and the win. New tag team champions. Next week on Raw, we have a women's world title match. Rhea will be defending against Io Sky, which is a match I was hoping to see at Mania. I'm going to be honest. That's why I was hoping Io had won the Rumble. It is what it is. And we have a World Tag Team title match. We have the War Raiders going up against the Creeds. Now, I don't know. Back-to-back weeks, could we see the tag titles change hands? Of course we could. I think if the Creeds are ever going to win the tag titles, which I think they will in due time, I think they should win it at a pay-per-view or a PLE. It doesn't have to be at Mania. It could be at Backlash, whatever. Again, especially just seeing the tag titles change hands a week prior, being tonight. Again, and plus I'd give the War Raiders a little bit of a longer reign. What's it been, a month and a half, and it hasn't been the best reign either. So I would like to see the Raiders come out on top next week. And we all assume Rhea's going to win, right? What's Rhea look like losing on the road to WrestleMania, especially 2 nights prior, then finding out her opponent's going to be at the chamber, whether it is Bianca or Liv or somebody else, and then it be in Io Sky or something. I love Io. Again, I wanted Rhea Io at Mania, but I guess that's not in the cards this year. Adrian says, just got to say, man, love the videos. You got Chris Family vibes. Appreciate you, Adrian. Yeah, I try to call it as fair as I can, man. I tell you what I love. I'll tell you what I dislike. Santos knows. Santos has been rocking with me since the summer, since I've been going live on TikTok Live, where I started going live, and I made my way over to YouTube here. So I call it how it is. What I like, what I don't, I don't, and I try to be constructive, but but it is what it is. But I appreciate the compliment. CBV, Chris Van Vliet, he's phenomenal, man. He's making his mark in the industry for sure. So I appreciate that, bro. And thanks for rocking with me, not just tonight, but every single time. So that was my Monday Night Raw review. Again, guys, if you just made your way in here, hit that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button as well. And again, I will be live here immediately following Friday Night SmackDown this Friday, obviously. If I go live after NXT tomorrow, I'm not sure if I'm going to hop on here or TikTok Live. A lot of you guys follow me on TikTok if you have that account. Obviously, you subscribe to me here if you're here. But I would like to maybe hop on one of the platforms tomorrow night, just not sure which one yet. But I'll definitely be back here Friday, all right? There is no holding back when it comes to Turnbuckle Topics. That's right, Santos. You know it, brother. You know it. So thank you guys for joining me. Any last comments, questions, concerns about Monday Night Raw or anything this week going forward? Again, we have the Chamber Saturday. Feel free to drop it in the comments now. Otherwise, I hope to see you all Friday after SmackDown. No breaking kayfabe here. That's it. So, again, it was a good show. And like I've said about Monday Night Raw this year, I'll just base it off 2025. We're roughly 2 full months in. It's been a very solid Monday Night Raw. We've been very fortunate. Raw's been good. Santos said NXT's been great for a while now. And one thing leads to the next. And before you know it, the show's over and you're pretty fulfilled collectively, regardless of win, lose, or draw, no matter what happens. SmackDown's been rough, man. And even though SmackDown this past Friday, a lot of people didn't like the show itself. I get it. It wasn't the best wrestling show. A lot of things were scrapped because of The Rock showing up last minute with that segment with Cody. That segment even left a lot of people confused. The Liv Naomi match was scrapped prior to it. The match after that, I believe it was at DIY and Pretty Deadly. That match was seemingly shortened as well. Wasn't the best wrestling, but the show was going by for some reason. First time all year, SmackDown was going by without me looking at the clock and saying, damn, we still got an hour and a half left at 9:30, or it's only 10. We got one more hour. So I don't know what it was. One can only hope that SmackDown flows for me like it did this past Friday. Again, wasn't the best show last Friday. I'll give you that. SmackDown has been the one show out of Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. SmackDown's been the one that's definitely been slacking quite a bit lately. So I don't know what's going on with that. All the amazing work. You always kill it. Thank you, Santos. Appreciate that compliment, brother. Definitely. Always try to put my best foot forward here. And you guys, I love you guys commenting in the chat. Love you guys 2 cents too on everything. Just too long, 2 hours of great storytelling is all you need. Exactly. That is simply stated. I mean, SmackDown is just too long. And I said the same thing for Raw when it was always 3 hours. That 2.5 hours the last several weeks opposed to it being 3 makes all the difference in the world. Because tonight was a little different. You got Cody and Seth from 10 to 10, 12 or whatever it was. And that was still good. That was very good. So, but usually how it's been the past several weeks is you get 8 to 10, you get whatever it is into the show itself. And 10 till 10:30 is roughly reserved for the main event. You get your entrances, grandiose entrance, you get the match, and that's it. They go right off air. So I love that. I can live with a 2.5 hour show if you get 2 hours, and then the last half hour is strictly just your main event. It's actually exciting. It actually is exciting. So, and you don't know if it's going to end at 10:26. Is it going to end at 10:45 like tonight? Because how predictable has it been through the years when you're watching a show and the match ends or is called at, let's say the show's 8 to 10 and the match is called at 9:53 or 9:56, and you're like, well, there's still 3 or 4 minutes left. Somebody's coming out. Something's going to happen. There's going to be a turn here. So I love the fact that Raw has a very uncertain time and finish at the end. That level of uncertainty means more than I think most wrestling fans would notice. I'm sure you guys have a good idea of how cool that is. But again, the predictability of the 3 hours is just way too much for SmackDown. So let's see. WWE needs to break back the cliffhangers in their shows. You bring that back, the cliffhangers. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. How many times, growing up, I started watching, the later part of the Golden Era, but the Attitude Era specifically, I can't tell you how many times Jim Ross was, screaming over the microphone. And, we'll see you next week, or I'll catch you, even before SmackDown was here, right? Or Sunday Night Heat. We'll catch you next time. And you're like at the edge of your seat, like, oh my God, who was that? Or what just happened? Or I cannot believe that happened. Totally underrated level of suspense and curiosity. And of course, the internet 20, 25 years plus ago was nothing like it is today. What would we have? AOL then? That was it. So MSN, yeah, you go on your Hotmail account. So you couldn't figure out anything behind the scenes. So you quite literally had to tune in and find out what's going on. You know what I mean? So, you can't change that these days. But again, a little bit more of a cliffhanger type of deal would be great. So again, guys, I appreciate you hanging with me here on this Monday night review of Monday Night Raw. I'm going to head out of here in a minute. Now would be the time, if you have not already, to please hit that thumbs up, hit the like button, and again, please be sure to subscribe to Turnbuckle Topics. Put on the notifications bell, whether it's me uploading a daily short, long-form content, which it's been a little bit since I've done so this month, but I have been going live. I've been going live regularly on YouTube Live and TikTok Live as well. Okay, you could also follow me on Instagram, TikTok, X, and Facebook at Turnbuckle Topix. Guys, I appreciate you being here with me tonight, and I hope to see you all back here Friday, immediately following Friday Night SmackDown. Again, if I happen to pop on live here throughout the course of the week, so be it. And you could also look out for me, lastly, like I said earlier, for an NXT review tomorrow night. Just uncertain if I'm going to be on TikTok Live or back here on YouTube, but just follow me on both accounts if you have it, like I know many of you do. And I look forward to coming back here and discussing the debut match of Ricky Saints, the return of the Hardys in a WWE match in some regard for the better part of 5 years. So I'm excited for Matt and Jeff and everybody. All right, guys, thank you for joining me. Have a great rest of the night, and I will catch you soon. Thank you, Santos and everybody. Appreciate you, brother. Take care.